Let's jump right in with news of the week. So, first and foremost, you know that Holiday and Monday went to their home yesterday. They had a flight down to Pittsburgh, and everything went great. We've got some pictures of them in their new house, digging into some food, and I think they're going to do just great. So, I'm real excited about that fact. Then the other big news, I guess, is we had some real sick kittens at the beginning of this week, and honestly, I was pretty concerned about it. But everybody's doing great now. We're just everything's fantastic. The reason that you don't see Gable here, along with the other kittens, if you're counting, is not because he's feeling sick, but because he's gotten a little bit used to hanging out in the spa already from his time in quarantine there. And he settled down in DJ's lap to watch some TV with her, and she wanted to keep him in there for a while until he decides to get up and start running around, and then I'm sure she'll deliver him in here. But until then, she's just going to hang out with her little buddy Gable. So he's fine. That's the only reason he's not in here right now. He's really doing great. I'm super, super happy about it. I think that's really it for news. You know what? There is a little bit more news, though. So first off, we're still looking for an adopter for Cal, who is, a playful, wonderful sweetheart of a cat. And I know you don't get to see it often enough, but just as an example of what, she's like, the parts that you don't get to see so often, you've seen her obviously running around like a freak and playing in the tunnel and also just, having a good old time. But last night she came and hung out around with DJ and I for a long time in the spa. And after she gets done sort of exploring and playing and stuff, when she's ready to settle down, she loves to just climb up on the bed and snuggle up next to somebody. Or as I was sitting in my chair last night and playing video games, she climbed right up on my lap to game with me and loves to get petted and snuggled with. And she's everything. As far as a cat goes, it's unbelievable to me that of all the mom cats, Cal is one that hasn't quite found her adopter yet. Now, I do know some applications have come in. I don't ever look at them. Dawes does that, so I have no idea if they're for Cal or if they're for somebody else. If you applied for Cal, don't take what I'm saying right now as a sign that you're not approved. I don't know. I don't have anything to do with that. My fingers are crossed for you, though, if you did, because she's going to make somebody really happy. And that leaves us with Cuddles, who is the mom to 4 of these kittens. And I know everybody has a lot of questions about her and where she is and what's going on. So she's right across the hall in her own private room, what was once Brooke's room, or we call it the spare room officially, but it gets a lot of names, the rainbow room. She's right over there. She's having a good time. I think that she was pretty much done with her kittens before she went over there, and now I'm sure she's done with them. I feel like if I brought her in here to see them, she would probably just be upset. And she doesn't, sometimes you hear her meowing a little bit here and there, but when she's not meowing for her kittens. She's meowing for us. She's typically not even at her door when she does it. She's over at the window. When I go in there, then she's quiet. She doesn't meow when we're in the room. She just wants to have our attention. So that's great. But the big news about Cuddles is not that she's in the next room. It's that I've made the decision that she needs to go to somebody that has enough time to work with her, and I don't. So that's sort of the final word on that is going to be that she is going to go to another foster, unless, if somebody feels like she's the perfect cat for them for some reason and wants to apply, there's still time to do that. But my supposition is that's not going to be the case, and she's going to go to another foster. That foster is someone that sort of specializes in kittens and cats that need a little bit of extra care and isn't available yet, but they are, I think, already committed to taking her as soon as they can, which is going to be in a couple weeks, I think next month, at the start of next month, or maybe a week or two into next month. So if I can, I'm going to try to get her spayed before then, and of course I'm going to continue to work with her as well as I can. But I do think that when she goes to a foster that can really dedicate their time to her, she is going to thrive, and it's going to be the best thing for her. She's just going to do fantastic. Meanwhile, the kittens, of course, will stay here. They're fully part of Sky's family now, and I think it's what's best for them is to have this family and this sort of influence on them as they're growing up is going to do them really well. So the plan then, just to sum up, is Cuddles kittens are going to stay here as they have been and continue to thrive in this family. And Cuddles herself is going to go to a different Dawes foster probably in a few weeks. So, and that's the plan. I still am going to get a camera in her room at some point as soon as I have some extra time for that, just to sort of put a cap on, how much time I haven't had. But I've gotten a lot done this week too. Now that we didn't have Gable to care for, so specifically, I was able to start cleaning the house and taking care of some things. And DJ wanted to spend some time together yesterday, so we turned over an entire garden out front, one of the 3 that we have, the smallest one of the 3, but still it was a lot of physical labor. And I'm a bit worn out today as a result, but it was fun, it was good. So I don't know why I said that. I feel like I had some reason I said it, but whatever. I don't think I've said this to anybody except for DJ yet, but I have a little bit of a surprise planned for KA Con that it's not anything that's going to be disruptive to what the planning committee has planned, but let's just say that I'm going to have a good time going, and you'll see. It'll be fun. So there we go, just a little bit of a teaser for any of you that were putting off getting your ticket to KA-Con to hang out with all of the Kitten Academy fans. And it's about all of you. It's not about me at all. And I would hate to ever suggest that it is about me or make it about me. It's not how it is. Thank goodness, because I couldn't handle that kind of stress. But I will be there, and I think I'm going to have as much a good time as I always do, and bring a little something for everyone to enjoy at the same time. So, about DJ and Cuddles specifically, because Cuddles, ever since I have medicated her and taken her to the vet and all the things that I've had to do for her benefit, she's not super appreciative of that, I think, and it did sort of damage our relationship, and it's been difficult for me to rebuild it. I don't think that it would be difficult in general, but it's difficult for me to take the time that it would require to get that done. That said, she has always just sort of taken to DJ more than to me, and I heard the most amazing thing. It really, I didn't even believe at first. But DJ told me that first off, DJ goes in there and hangs out with her fairly regularly, and they get along great. But DJ told me that she actually went in there and picked Cuddles up, and sat her down on the sofa futon that's in there and hung out with her. And just the thought of just casually picking her up like a cat and sitting down with her, it blows my mind. I can't even imagine that. And yet, she's perfectly willing to do it for DJ. So I also feel like maybe with somebody that she just has that innate sort of trust for, she would also do very well. And DJ definitely hasn't got the time to be that person for her, but it's good to imagine that with the right foster, she might, not be that much work in the first place, possibly. So I thought I had to share that with everybody, because it really, honestly, it's mind-blowing to me to even think. But it's great, isn't it? It's wonderful to hear that. So, okie dokie. Well, that was Mailbag. Thanks, everybody. It's always wonderful. You're so generous to us, and you're so generous to the kittens. I know that their adopters appreciate all of it, the extra endowments. When Monday and Holiday got picked up yesterday, they, of course, were flying back, and so we had to try to fit everything that we could into one large luggage, and it does not fit in one large luggage, although I feel like I did a pretty good job. since I knew that they were going to be flying and would have to try to make things fit, I sort of left out a lot of the extra stuff that would normally get included. I just put in the stuff that was like real specifically sent for them. And we managed to get almost all of it in there except for a couple of the larger items. There were a couple beds that didn't fit, a couple blankets that didn't fit, and the ball tracks and towers that we just couldn't fit. So I put all those in a box and I explained to their adopter as honestly as I could that I would be happy to mail them to her. But my track record shows, and I said this just so that she would have her expectations set correctly, it could be a long time before that mailing happens. I'm so sorry about that, but I guess I just know who I am now. So yeah, that's the case. But then I guess this probably was on the stream when it happened. I put all the stuff in the luggage to help her out. And then I really wanted to give them that sort of lavender colored marshmallow bed, the big one that they've been sleeping in so often, because I like to send them something familiar that they've actually had around. And they both like that. They snuggle up together and they sleep together fairly often. So to get it to fit, though, I had to sort of fold it and then I had to sort of crush it in there with my knee on the luggage and then try to close the thing. And I was like, oh man, if somebody opens this at the airport to inspect it, it is literally just going to explode with cat toys and stuff everywhere. So I guess it all must have made it there okay, though, or she would have said. But yeah, it's a real challenge. You guys are super generous, and one large luggage bag definitely doesn't cut it for the endowments anymore. I remember when it was just DJ and I, and we first sort of started sending things with the kittens that were adopted. It was in the before times, really, because it was before. It was back when we were working with a shelter that would have us take the kittens to a pet store to get them adopted out, and that was it was painful for us. I don't think there's necessarily anything inherently wrong with that. You've got to find homes for kittens however you can, but it was really painful for us. But my point being that back then, DJ and I started giving out little gift bags for the kittens, and we would use one of those little paper lunch bags that you brought to school when you were a kid, probably. And even that wouldn't be entirely full. And so it's just funny to think how far the endowments have come since then, and how generous you all are for the kittens that get adopted through Kitten Academy. It means a lot to me. And, if it does in any way help the kittens get adopted, then it's all worthwhile, I think. And even if it doesn't, I think that the adopters still have to appreciate it so much. I know I do.